Okay, we have another poem. This will probably be my last for a while. Please excuse how disheveled I look. I just got home from school and I rushed just so that I could recite this poem. Although you're probably accustomed to seeing me look disheveled and borderline, who knows, screwed up. I've worn like two pieces of clothing on this page to recite poetry. So if you're focusing on that, just know I am a fit repeater until the day that I perish. This poem is called Sadly I Would Do It Again and Again. It was inspired by watching Haley Grace and her poetry. Not anything that she said in particular, however, the idea that her poems reach very deeply. They are far reaching, they touch the heart, they warm the heart, and they give it grace. Albeit, whenever anybody writes a poem that's heart wrenching and soul rending and just absolutely just tears the strings to seams, I ask myself what they had to give up or they had to endure for that nature or for that poem to have been written. I always sympathize with poets or writers or anybody who's able to meet somebody in their most heartbreaking moments because I know that they themselves had to endure it. So this poem is kind of navigating the idea of what poets or writers or people have to give up in the nature of being able to recite and profess their message to the world. Let your mess become your message. Some messes are a lot bigger than others, and the fact that they're able to transmute that to the world for healing is powerful. But I worry about them. I'm always constantly worried about poets. It's always, this is so beautiful, and so infrequently, why is it so beautiful? What happened? Are you okay? You need to talk. You need a hug. Yeah, check on your people. Seriously. But yeah, this is called, again, I said, Sadly, I Would Do It Again and Again. You ask how I am able to create this poetry. Let me tell you. It begins in the darkness where failure festers. As a friend, I am a ghost, a hollow echo who barely goes out, that fades in and out, unable to stay in connection, or sustain connection. My love is a cracked mirror reflecting all of my faults, a terrible boyfriend who forgets to remember and remembers to forget. Afflicted is my state, a constant drip of doubt, waterboarding my mind with the relentless torrent of thoughts that never cease to torment. A cacophony of whispers reminding me of every misstep, every falter, every broken promise left to rot in the recesses of my memory. This is the crucible where my verses are forged, in the fires of a mind that know no peace, a creativity birthed from perpetual unrest, a mind frame never touched by light, always teetering on the edge of the abyss. It is not a skill, but a sentence. This poet's life. In the end, the ink I bleed is the life I forfeit, a somber trade for the muse's embrace. When I say that I despise poetry, it is seldom, and I mean never, ever, a reflection of the poets who have brought lives to life, who have allowed their brightness and darkness and everything in between and untold to become something magical. From nothing, something came. That's godly, if you ask me. But no, to be a poet, you must live, you must experience, you must diversify your humanity constantly. It is a perennially spent art form. You can practice it, become technical, follow well-tested techniques, but to be a poet that you exist as, it draws so much from the well of life, a well that I hate taking a plunge into. It requires life. It requires living. The part that I despise the most about everything. Poetry does not ask gently. It does not ask for substitutes. It does not accept substitutes. It wants the days you avoided, the rooms you left early, the conversations you did not survive intact. And I resent that hunger because I know what it produces, because I have seen what it makes possible, because I know that what I withhold is exactly what it wants. And to be honest, I and poetry are the same. We both want more than we are sometimes able to give. I fear poetry, and in that fear of poetry, I recognize I fear me. The question remains, how much am I giving up in the name of this poetry I am supposed to be good at? And there it is, the bitter irony. That I sacrifice sanity for words that may never heal the wounds they emerge from. Thank you.